Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Gone Gwenting here. Please come with me on a journey, and we are taking you to a land where we one-up everyone else. And we love doing that. But today is Temerian Tuesday. I've got a deck for you. We're calling this 4 duels because 3 duels aren't enough. You need to have 4 duels. So there's a really crazy card I want to highlight this week, and we've got a couple of really fun decks I'm going to be showing you guys. But that card is Mandrake, and it is a weird and somewhat complex card that looks like a fertility goddess. True. But it resets a unit, and reset is... Now, the first time I had it played against me, I was like, why don't you just use Spores? Spores is half the cost. Reset the power of a unit is different than reset a unit. Resetting a unit resets its power, all of its native statuses, so not any that are developed from deploy, like Siri, for example, Siri Nova, but it does reset all order abilities. Now, yes, we have thought about using it on Sienna, and we will be getting to that later this week in a crazy deck that is just straight bonkers to play. But this one is really fun. You can also use it on Roach Merciless for an extra Blue Stripes Commando proc. Where we can use, here we're carrying a Dahlia, Pavetta, Vest just for story consistency. Also, she's just fun to set up that 2-point damage. I mean, come on. How can you not love a girl who just has like an awesome skull and crossbones tat? And then we also got Blue Stripe Commandos in here with Blue Stripe Scouts, Dun Banner, Carrick Marine. Mad Charge I really like. We have a couple of Knights in on Sace and Selkirk. Use it. It's pretty fun. But anyway, the reset's gonna totally reset everything on the unit. It's really awesome, really cool. Highly recommend it. So let's show you how it works. Now, this deck is probably a little meme worthy with all of the Blue Stripe stuff. If you really wanted to get serious with this, you could put in like Bloody Baron. And I also think another good choice would be Donamir, just to protect your melee row. Since you are going to be hitting the reset on those units a couple of times. But we're all about spice. So let's jump into a game. Show you guys how this works. But Mandrake is very interesting. Kind of like Decoy, just a card that hasn't been used very much that I think you could get a lot of value out of. Yeah, I don't know what else to say there. Do it. Make it happen. Hopefully this game loads because I've run out of things to say. Just kidding. No, but thank you to everyone also who joins on Twitch to watch the filming of these videos. Really appreciate it. And to anybody who works on the CDPR servers, I'm appreciative of your work. Although it does crash sometimes, it's much better than most other mobile games or multiplayer games I play. I feel like all the other games I play, the servers crash like at least 3 times an hour. Maybe I just have bad luck. But I digress. Wow.
Patience is not a virtue I am known to have.
That takes some commitment. So one thing too, if this is a mill deck that we're running into, this deck is really strong against the mill because we can put stuff back in. It's kind of nuts. We have Amphibious. We're gonna put Blue Stripe back. Here I'm kind of looking for... I think probably the best thing that could work for us here is maybe like Blue Stripe Scout or Dahlia, something like that. So we're gonna put Mad Charge back. We do get Pavetta. Now we can bring out, the reason I put Commando back, we can bring out Commando using Amphibious Assault. Since we don't have any Blue Stripe Scouts though, I think we're gonna try to play around that a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. Follow your heart. Dun Banner is also another great target for Blue Stripe Scouts. If you haven't seen us cover that in prior videos or on Twitch, it works really well for them because they just keep summoning them from their deck so long as they keep getting boosts. Pretty cool. I'm a fan of it. Here, Boiling Oil might work on these Ardfane Cavalry. Why not? I want to force the Nilfgaard deck to play out a little bit longer. Obviously, removal is the thing that we worry about here. The other thing about Mandrake, you can also use this offensively. So if an opponent gets tons and tons of value from boost, you can go ahead and remove it. Works quite well. Big fan of that. Now we can use a Blue Stripe Scout here with Dunbanner. We just need to get a way to protect it. We're gonna just go ahead and play it on a drummer because we're crazy like that.
Right, left, right.
But welcome to everyone on Twitch. I've really appreciated all of the help and feedback, comments, and hilarious jokes we've been able to make together. Seriously, it's been a really good time. The other thing about Amphibious for Blue Stripe Scout, you don't want to break into them really late in game, so it kind of works as a good way to get them out. You can also use it as a target for Vess or Pavetta. Just kind of depends on how you like to play the game. I think we're going to see Artorias come down here. I'm guessing he's going to be pulling out like an Imperial Brigade. A Duchess Informant is really interesting. This should have been slotted right between the drummer, I think. Honest Stringer is the other good target for it. Tons of points here. We're going to go ahead here and just kind of... not kind of. We're going to just go ahead and take a pass. Too many points. The theme of this deck, for those of you who are wondering, is just joining on Twitch. This deck is called 4 Duels because 3 duels aren't enough for us. We need 4 of them. Don't worry if you're wondering how does that work. We're going to show you. Okay, we do get a Blue Stripe Scout. Let's see if we can get... We get Vess. We just need our good friend Merciless. We get him out. I'm happy about that. Now you can use Pavetta same round. You just need to have Amphibious Assault. So I actually kind of do like Pavetta round 3. People don't expect it. We have a couple of units here that can make this work. Obviously, it'd be much better if the opponent plays stuff that we want. Vest does play down with a girthy 5 points. Yeah. So she's a little hard to remove. People want to commit to it, they can, but otherwise, I find her a pretty good way to use that Zeal. And obviously, the way you want to set this up, the opponent plays like a 4-point unit. You damage it by 2 with Vest, then you play Roche to finish it off. He gets Zeal. You spawn the Blue Stripes Commando, and then, although this might work too. We'll see what Roderick plays. Hengate. That's some commitment. Better if you can use that with Assimilate, obviously, just because this isn't a card from the deck. So, suboptimal play, in my opinion. Ramon does give armor, so he's a little annoying here. And Zweifelhorsunen. Gotta hate the Horsons. Now, we could actually, too, here, play Mandrake on, like, this Slave Hunter, for example. Kind of a weird play, but it is something you can choose to do. Here, though, I'm really concerned about setting this up. I think we're going to see other stuff come down, perhaps like a Slave Hunter. Instead, we can just play Carrick Marine here and boost up Roderick. Or we can play Temerian Drummer and start boosting him up. I think that's probably what we'll do. Don't really need to get too anxious. I think Roderick in a down round, unless you're really committed to a bleed, is a weird choice just because, you know, you do get thinning. I guess if he had everything he loved in hand already, it might work. The Assimilate could ruin things here. But you guys know me, I'm a gambler. Not really. I actually don't gamble really at all. But I like to in Gwent. For those of you just joining, we had an awesome play in a video I just recorded that will post up. For those of you watching on YouTube, it posted yesterday. But we had an Elf and Onion Soup onto Ermion and Crowmother. Obviously got Crowmother back from the graveyard. But we got Regis Higher Vampire against a Monsters Consume deck. Played for 22 points plus his 4 base value. An amazing Elf and Onion Soup. Highly recommend it. Really fun. Really fun tweak we made to that Judah deck. I think it's much better value than Freya's Blessing, but that's just me. All right, here comes the damage. Obviously, that hurts. My soul is injured. This sucks. Oh, that is not what you want to happen.
I'll manage. Don't you fret.
We're gonna get Marine here. See if we can get some girth to Vernon. Unfortunate. Praxis does have formation, so we actually can get in 3 duels this round. Varaxis does get Zeal, and I guess he can give Bess back her ability.
Decrepit and paranoid.
Crazy things going on up in here. Here I think we're gonna go for Roach.
Temerian. That's what matters.
This could hurt, friends. Oh, I forget we are no longer running. Mandrake makes it so this isn't devotion. So honestly, these probably should be swapped out. We'll do that between games. This needs to get changed to Radovid's Royal Guards. Vilgefortz hurts here.
You mistake stars reflected in a pond for the night sky.
I mean, we might as well do it, right? So another option I thought about doing for you guys. You can actually use Varaxis with Mandrake Root. So what we could do here, instead of resetting on Sace, we can reset Varaxis since he's already melee. That's fine with us. He does have formation, so he only gets the order on Zeal. He only gets the Zeal on deploy. So something worth thinking about. Yeah, we're just gonna go for some draw consistency, if nothing else. Opponent here very committed to this round for some reason. I don't understand it. Maybe somebody else does. This is annoying, but really not that big of a deal. It might be waiting for us to get down to 3 units. I don't know. I don't need to understand. But they've almost certainly lost card advantage. Diplomacy's not a great choice here. So yeah, a couple ways of going about this. We can use Mandrake Root. Obviously the formation cards it doesn't work quite right on. You do still have to wait an extra turn for that order to come back around. So against Nilfgaard, very risky just because of all the locks and poisons and yoinking and annoyance and etc. etc. But I will show you here what you can do. Rivian Pikeman looming large there. So we can use this on Varaxis. I don't know. We might just play Pavetta here, though. Sorry, one second. Just looking, just thinking. Now we'll wait for Pavetta. We can get this Blue Stripe Commando back. So we'll go ahead. We'll use this Mandrake Root onto Varaxis. Now again, so he had formation, which gives him his order ability back. He gets that Zeal on deploy. Does not happen with Mandrake Root. So, but had we played him to ranged row, it would reset his value from 7 back to 6. So no reason to linger there. Now the opponent really has to make some tough choices between all of our cards. The other thing we could have done, we could have played it on Blue Stripes Commando. It would erase the lock, reset the unit back to 4, and we could get it out that way. But we didn't need to do that, and this way we stayed up in points. We get up in terms of value against the opponent. But as you could have seen, had he played one more card, we could have used Varaxis to reset on Sace again. That would have been 3 duels in 1 round using 2 cards, plus the Mandrake Root. We are carrying double boiling oil. I do like the removal normally. And here we are probably going to be looking for a Blue Stripes Commando. This works great. I'm not really going to argue with any of these. We're going to be pulling out Blue Stripes Commando. With that play, I don't want to give the opponent a Dahlia. I don't really care if he gets on a Stringer. She's just going to boost the unit next to her by 1. And we can use our leader ability to get her boosted up. I think the biggest cards I'm worried about my opponent getting and using, probably Selkirk. So we're just going to get him out just in case the opponent has some crazy ideas. But if he gets locked, if he gets destroyed, it's really not the end of this. Really not the end of our play here. Just really trying to deny value against this double cross. Also trying to draw out a lock. Selkirk is decent value with the removal. No lock seen here. We're just going to kind of be patient then. Pavetta, I'm guessing he just played for points. Blue Stripe Scout, worthless for the opponent. Anna gets that passive boost, but the opponent here just forfeiting, really not getting any value. And here you see, you know, like I said, this deck is a bit greedy. You could be a little bit more circumspect in some of your choices, but I like it. I think it's fun. I think this is like a really, really thought-provoking Northern Realms deck that makes you think a little bit, right? But thank you so much. Hey, Jay Conrad, was happy to raid you last night. I like to shoot YouTube videos while I'm doing my Twitch, but hope you had a good stream after I logged off. Went to go watch some shows with my wife, but we're gonna finish up one more game here, and then I am open to suggestion on whatever we do next. Whatever you guys want to see on Twitch stream, just let me know. But otherwise, we're gonna finish up this deck. Hopefully, we can show you guys all 4 duels. We got to show 2 of the 4 last game. Could have used Selkirk there, but didn't want to use that on a Ducal Guard. But yeah, I love the Gwent community. I love, you know, I got raided by Saber yesterday with like 200 people. That was a total riot. So I was trying to, you know, my streams might be 10, 12 people, but we'll always try to pay it forward. And we got such a great group of people. Okay, so Blue Stripes Commando, you don't want them with Merciless. Vest with Merciless is just great. The one thing I do want to ask, and can we please pass this to CDPR? Can we just, you know, like Crones get the same shared art. The 3 Dwarves get shared art. Can we give Vest and Merciless shared art with at least one of the Blue Stripe cards, please? Please? So otherwise, I think I'm just going to hold here. These 2 play really well together. Oh, actually, I do want one more. I want to, if I can get a Blue Stripe Scout. I love Blue Stripe Scouts with the Dahlia. Freaking fun. But since we have done banners here, we'll just use her to target a drummer. That can also give some girth to Roach, if you will. Boost him up a little bit. And like I said before, Mandrake Root you can use to reset. You also want to be cheeky too, like if you're worried about your duels getting removed, or notably if you're facing like an elf deck with a lot of movement and you're worried about Selkirk getting kicked off his spot, you can reset Roach, and you can actually use Roach to spawn the extra unit, right? So it's pretty nuts what you can do with Mandrake with this deck. So and basically the point of that is you'd get an extra copy of a Blue Stripe Commando that you can then cycle back in with Pavetta and get more tempo that way. I just find a lot of those like Blue Stripe Commando decks are a little overcommitted with like 7 Blue Stripe Commandos in final round. They don't deal well against the bleed. Alright. This is an interesting play. Using the Lamp Gin for dominance with Wild Hunt Rider. We're fine with that. So Vess is awesome with this. Again, you just set up this 2-point kill with Merciless. I'm going to shut down an Andrega engine here. That works really well as well. I'm guessing our opponent just forgot to end turn. I doubt they want to use an Overwhelming Hunger charge on an Andrega Larva, but it's possible. People get to make their choices. So here you use Merciless, shut down the Andrega Larva, you get the Zeal with him, spawn the Commando, then you use Vess to give that Commando Zeal, and you call out your other 2 Commandos from deck. Crazy tempo you get from this play. I mean, count this out. 7 points to the 2 damage. I mean, here we were against armor, so I guess you could take that away. But so she plays for 5, he plays for 8, plus the 2 damage, so 10, and then you get another 8 points here. Just crazy, crazy points that you can get out with this combo. Just please make the artwork work together. That's all I ask. It'd also be really cool. You know how in like the Witcher game in Wild Hunt, how like the different cards all have the same name, like the vampires, and they call each other out from deck, but they are actually like different art. I wish that like Blue Stripe Commandos did that. Like they had a whole bunch of different ones that they pulled from, and they made like, after you got to like 4 of them, they made like a really cool scene, right? My advice on how you should do more art for your 1,200 plus cards in game is always free, CDPR. You're welcome. No, seriously, the artwork for this game is epic, legendary. Honestly, I deeply appreciate it. Is our opponent here just giving up? Don't worry, we'll queue into a 3rd game with this deck if this guy just gives up right away. But hey, you know, there's nothing better than winning a game after 2 plays. That's just how much you can terrify your opponent. Then you should go ahead and do it. Now, if the opponent were to continue playing here, I would actually contemplate pulling out on a Stringer with Amphibious Assault, just because it is Overwhelming Hunger. Maruna threatens. She could steal out over one of those units. Especially if I wanted to like reset Roach, I think that would be a great play that you could make. Climbing up ladder today. We're getting a lot of wins. Taking a lot of losses this last week, so this is kind of overdue. I keep like every time I'm like, oh, this is such a cool Nilfgaard deck. Then I queue into like a mirror where it's another Nilfgaard mill deck, and they just get rid of all my stuff. Or I played Northern Realms and get countered by Nilfgaard. Played pretty well against that other Nilfgaard deck, though. I was pretty pleased with how it's performed. Again, we want them back in. Terribly good luck with Merciless and Vess. We are looking for Drummer Dun Banner works. Mad Charge really isn't all that useful since we don't have a Knight here, and we'll put this Dun Banner back in. We do have Tactical Advantage, which is real nice with both Dun Banner and with Honest Stringer, so we have lots of options in that vein. But here I think we're actually just going to go ahead, use Nadalia, grab a Drummer. Just gives us some flexibility and a lot of options. Arachis Swarm is able to put up a lot of tempo, a lot of points. If you guys haven't seen it, I recommend checking out my Organic Swarm video on YouTube. Total Riot. Okay, that's unfortunate, but it's really not the end of the world. Go back and do this again. Nice thing about our Organic Swarm, this sets up really nicely with Roach Merciless. We will want to get out Vess eventually. Natural Selection is annoying, but again, not the end of the world. You gotta love her commitment to Temeria. Now we can also use, we don't have it here, but Amphibious Assault is a great grab for these blue stripe scouts. They come out at 9 points. They then spawn at least a 4-point unit, or sorry, at least a 3-point unit in Dun Banner, and then you can reproc them with the boost. That works exceptionally well. But here we're just going to use Roach. We're going to kill off this drone. We're going to spawn that blue stripe commando. We're going to give him Zeal. We're going to call out the other commandos. And I think we've done a decent job tempoing up. Could be wrong, but I think we're going to be okay. Now, I do want to get out Dun Banner here just because he's just both points, thinning, etc., etc. But we can just use tactical advantage on him. That works pretty well. I think I'm pretty happy with how much removal we've been able to kind of get out from the opponent. Striga is a really strange choice, but everybody gets to make choices. I'm guessing they're worried about blue stripe scouts, but this is kind of a poor play because they still have one, right? So I don't know if I wanted to, I could use Pavetta here to go. Like if you're in a tight match and you had done this in round 3, for example, you can use Pavetta to go ahead and put back the one he just killed into your deck, call it back out again. Pavetta plays for 10 points, bing bada boom. Easy peasy. She's always, you know, like for an 8 provision cost unit, she always finds value for me. On a stringer here, really great with leader ability, but since we still have this tactical advantage, we're just going to go ahead and use Dun Banner here. Get that boost out. I'm just going to hope and pray. Let's see, an Ikran play would be 22. A Goliath play would be 32. They could then use a couple leader charges to clear it out. So as long as we don't see one of those two plays or a Glusty, I think we're going to be okay. Oh, this is great tempo, though. This is like consumes 5 points of value, generates 2 drones, plus an additional 3 drones. But Ikran not quite enough to close this out. They could use leader ability to do it, but I think here we do like to play across 3 rounds. Pavetta is nice to play in the down round, so we're going to go ahead here and take the pass. No worries. Because this is a Roach Merciless deck, I find that Roach Merciless decks, in my experience, play better against the bleed. So long as you draw Amphibious Assault. You got to get Amphibious Assault. But so long as you get Amphibious Assault, play really well against the bleed. I think the opponent was expecting us to play one more card there. Here I think we might see Glusty come down. That's fine with me. Glusty, the other thing about Glusty, and the reason why I'm happy to see it now, Glusty's like just a little too big for Selkirk and on Sace to get at. And if you guys have forgotten, and it's okay if you have, but this deck was built to be a 4 Duels deck. Instead, seeing a lot more blue stripe play than Duels. I keep forgetting to change these character marines. I promise we're going to do it before this deck goes live, so we're going to put them back since they're just not as much value. We'll keep Blue Stripe Scout. He's nice. Mad Charge is pretty good value, but we don't really need it right now. Selkirk is really awesome against monsters. They always are, in my experience, some really big units. Here, I think we just need to stay ahead in terms of points. I think we'll go for the Pavetta. Put these commandos back. Obviously, it sucks to not draw into Amphibious Assault, but it's alright. You could, if you wanted to, swap out Pavetta for Nautilus. I just have found that she plays for more points, and missing Amphibious Assault is suboptimal, as we like to say around here, but not the end of the world. Alright, Cave Troll is kind of like the perfect combo for Selkirk, so we're going to go ahead and get him out. He is not our lowest unit now, so it's okay if they use Predatory Dive. Obviously not something I want them to do, but it works. Heat Wave is brutal. Oh man, well played on the Heat Wave there. Here we'll go ahead and get him out. Then we can use on a stringer with Shield Wall. Beast getting nice and juicy here for our opponent. One unfortunate thing about Blue Stripe Scout, you are forced to play a unit. So we will have to copy this Carrick Marine, which I don't want to do. We do tie our opponent's 2-point boost with the Beast. I guess with Selkirk, you do get 3 duels, so if you wanted to sub out on Sace for a Heat Wave, you certainly could do that. Here, we're just kind of struggling for value. We can't use Mandrake. It doesn't work as a Purify. One thing that is that is kind of interesting about it, if you have a Defender unit that's been Purified, you can play Mandrake to reproc the Defender status. You guys might not be aware of that, but it is a truth. It is a truth that exists. Vraxis is just points. I think we just need points.
You're mad, father.
Hoping that this is a sufficient bleed from our opponent to just kind of let us go. Looks like not. Brutal. Yeah, we really missed our draws in terms of dealing with this monsters deck. Obviously, that Selkirk getting targeted was not what you want to see. Alright, we do have one more play up our sleeves. Although resetting Varaxis at this point makes it so he loses 3 points of value. But it's probably the best thing we have left. We could have reset this Blue Stripe Scout for 3 points. Here, yeah, just missing just enough points to get pushed out. Well played by our opponent. Heat Wave really crushing our spirits with that Selkirk. Maybe we should have played Varaxis first. Oh well, at least we won the other 2 games. Thank you guys so much for joining on YouTube and on Twitch. Please stick around. We'll have more fun. Oh, I'm making this change. I promised I would make this change. This probably would have been important that last game too. But Carrick Marine's not good here. We definitely want Radovid's Royal Guards. So there you go. Change has been made. You could also put in a Siege Ladder. I think I'm gonna swap out a Mad Charge for a Siege Ladder, just so in case Selkirk gets pushed off, you can put him back on a melee row. And you do get a good number of soldier units with this deck, so you can use crew with that Siege Ladder and get the boost onto like a Dun Banner or something like that as well. That could work. But thank you guys so much for joining. Please join on Twitch. Please follow, like, subscribe, etc., etc. You know all that good stuff. Never expected, always appreciated. And catch you guys on the flippity flop. Good luck on the path. Keep on Gwenting.